Hello, welcome to the Gab Juls Show. No Gab today, so look who's come down. Don Hutchison is with me today for a packed show because we'll have the Champions League draw later. We had the German Cup, the transfer latest, Alexander Isak and all of that. And I never thought I would say that, but the English League Cup, Don, because this is where we start. Manchester United, the gift that keeps on giving, knocked out on Wednesday night by League Two Grimsby Town. Grimsby Town, that is. I mean, apart from pathetic and humiliating and embarrassing, is there any other word?
All of that, Jules. And Amorim now has to come under serious pressure for his job. Because the tactical side of the game last night, when the opposition play one up front, how you still think it's acceptable to play three centre-backs against Grimsby, on top of not even watching your players taking a penalty, on top of Sesko, penalty number 10, who didn't fancy one in the first 5. It's unreal. And it's one of the lowest points, I would imagine, for Man United fans in their recent history. It's embarrassing.
We knew it was the draw. They had to go there.
Yeah. Can be difficult.
Yeah, you've played lower league games, teams, in FA Cup or League Cup in your career. It's tricky, small pitch. The crowd is up for it. The players are usually up for it. Yeah. They're very physical leagues. But we saw good things against Arsenal in the first game.
Very good.
Then not so good against Fulham apart from the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But that was dreadful.
Do you know what, Jules? I reckon somewhere in the summer, I've sleepwalked and bumped my head and got amnesia because I tipped this lot for top 6.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You didn't.
I did because I thought the'd be something different. I mean, there's a little bit of context. I thought Belieber might have come in. I thought Gyökeres might have come in.
I was only kidding.
But I mean, stark reality check for Man United fans and people like myself, because I thought the teams that they've got to overtake to try and get into the top 6 are teams like Fulham, teams like Brighton, teams like Bournemouth, teams like Brentford. And I fancied them with the players that they've signed to do a lot better. But now it's just the same old. I mean, what you have to do, I played in these games, and when you play away from home against a League Two side, is early on, you've got to match them their fight.
Yeah.
You've got to match fight for fight. You've got to show that you're up for it. You've got to try and get on the ball. Once the game calms down and you've got control, your superior talent should take over.
Definitely.
That's the master plan. There's no magnets on a board trying to shift players at different positions. It's match the opposition and the atmosphere for their fight.
Yeah.
They didn't even do that. And when he said last night, when Amorim said last night, my players spoke for me. I mean,
what does that even mean?
I'll tell you what that means. They're not playing for me. Because if his players last night spoke loudly for him, that means they're not playing for him. Because it was embarrassing. Yeah. So I don't know what message he's trying to send across.
I mean, we talked together about his communication last season, especially. That was dreadful. At times, too honest, even, and by saying this is
worst club in.
Worst team in Manchester United.
Are you in a relegation battle? Yes.
Yes, that kind of stuff. So we said, okay. And I thought he would have learned from that. Clearly not. Then the tactic side of it, as you mentioned, the back three in a game like this.
Yeah.
But even outside of this game, Don, his back three is not working, right? This
Never
system, which is his system, is just not working. What we see with the ball from those players, whether they fit or not the system, whether they are new signings, old guys that were there, experienced, young, whatever, is he too stubborn to succeed?
This is a conversation that's almost sort of pointless having because we know he's not going to change his system. And I don't know how you feel on the system, the players that he's got. I never thought it was going to work.
No, me neither.
Because the reason why I don't think it's going to work, it's fine having 3 centre-backs, but not against one Grimsby centre-forward. But in general, whichever 2 of the midfield players he's got, apart from maybe Agarte, he can't actually run.
No.
So you would never play someone like Busquets in a 2-man midfield.
No.
Kobe Mainoo can't play in a 2-man midfield because he can't get around the pitch.
Absolutely.
On top of you've bought Cunha and Mbeumo, 2 number 10s, and therefore you've lost Bruno Fernandes as a number 10 because you're now trying to play him as a quarterback a bit deeper. He can't really run and go box to box. It's all just a mess.
It is, man. And they still have, for this game they had Onana in goal.
Yeah.
Who, for me, makes a mistake on the first goal. His near post should at least have a stronger hand. The second goal, I know there's a handball and probably had VAR been there, it would have been ruled out, but there's no VAR.
No.
And he messed up completely coming out from the ball.
And India was all over the place against Fulham.
Yeah, true. How come they haven't bought a goalkeeper? On the back of what you just said about their recruitment, where they spend £200 million plus on 3 forwards, really, where they probably only needed 2 of them 3.
I would have, and this is not hindsight, because when Newcastle were interested in Benjamin Sesko, I wasn't that bothered that we missed out on him.
Yeah, you're not a fan.
No. I think the potential's there, but the potential was in Rasmus Højlund.
Yeah.
For exactly the same amount of money, 74 million, 75 million. they're the same sort of player that needs nurturing. They need development. They need help. They need coaching. So if I was on the Man United staff and you're looking at 75 million for Sesko, leave Rasmus Højlund there for one more year and spend the 75 on a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
They could have got Emi Martinez for about 40 million quid.
Yeah.
Donnarumma.
Yeah,
right? You
absolutely.
could have got the best number ones out there for half the price.
Yeah.
So the fact that they haven't strengthened in the number one position, they're weak. Doesn't matter which one you want to buy. The three centre-backs are not really going to work because the personnel doesn't work. I thought Yoro and I thought De Ligt in the Arsenal game were very, very good and quite good against Fulham. But the midfield worries me. And then Sesko, penalty number 10 last night. He needs time. He needs a bit of time just to try and find his feet.
What happened there?
I don't know.
But you would be disappointed
Well,
if you were Amorim.
Look at
If you Amorim, and when you go through that hurdle and you say, okay, you go first, Bruno normal,
Hand
and
up.
Bomo second,
Hand up.
your best two takers, Cunha third, okay, that kind of stuff. But then when you say, okay, who wants to go fourth, fifth? Who wants to go sixth, seventh?
And his hand's not gone up.
And you're Amorim, and this is your number 9. He's your striker, and the guy is clearly hiding.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Well, the best example is when you look at the Leeds game for Arsenal and Gyökeres had a penalty.
Yeah.
And I actually thought the nice thing to do was maybe give it to Max Downman, who got the 15-year-old.
Yeah.
And I was thinking sentimental, that's a nice thing to do. And I thought, no, he's going to be ruthless.
Yeah.
He's going to want to take this penalty and get 2. Because that's what he wants. He wants goals. He wants numbers. So why Sesko hasn't put his hand up in the first 5, I'll never know.
Scared.
Whether he's like really shy, I don't know,
so.
but I'm trying to half find an out for him.
Yeah.
But surely in the first 9, you've got to stick your hand up and go, I'm taking one.
It's just the
10.
keeper after you, man.
10.
Everybody else has the keeper. Well, let's talk a bit more about Sesko, because obviously not just because he's Manchester United, but because they spend a lot of money on him, because there was a lot of other clubs who were also keen on him, from Newcastle to Arsenal to other clubs in Italy and in Spain as well. The penalty, we talked about it.
Yeah.
And we said how embarrassing it is to hide yourself until you have to go and take it, because it's you and the keeper left. So
You've
you
got
have
to be braver.
You have to be braver, surely, right?
No,
if
100%.
you sign for Manchester United, you can't start hiding against the League Two team.
What's the first thing if you're a number 9 for Man United that you want to do? You want to get off and running. You want to score. Give yourself a bit of confidence. I know it's a penalty, but he didn't even put his hand up till number 10. So is this on Amorim by not picking him? Or did Amorim look at the players in the eyes and think, right, who fancies it? Because normally that's a giveaway.
Yeah.
Normally that's a clue when a manager says, right, who wants them? I mean, to be honest, in this day and age, the penalty should be done 10 minutes before full time. Amorim and his coaching staff should have had a list of which players are on the pitch, right, and Buomo, Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, I think they had a bit of that.
Go through your top.
Yeah. But then
you're looking at a player and you want the player to go, Gaffer.
You need that feel. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'd do.
Because, watching on TV, you obviously don't see straight away sometimes who's coming to take the next pen.
Yeah.
So Grimsby score,
Yeah.
and then you're waiting to see who the United player coming up. And we were watching, and I was saying, okay, surely Sesko now.
Definitely.
And then it was, I don't know,
Dalot.
Mount. Oh, yeah, Dalot.
Yeah.
Okay, next, Sesko now.
Yeah.
No, Maguire.
Yeah.
Sesko now.
No, Mainu.
Mainu.
Where
And I was
are
like, don't tell me he's going to leave. He's going to be the last one of the outfield players to take one. And he was, man. I promise you.
I reckon Onana would have put his hand up before Sesko.
100%. And I just could not believe it. He struggled during the game. Do you think he's low on confidence? He arrived quite late.
Sometimes it can be a player that's just, when you go to a club the size of Man United, sometimes you can be a little bit shy.
Yeah,
sometimes you can be that way, not wanting to force. You should force it in a way. It's a bit of a contradiction, but sometimes you want the easy option. And when you play for Man United, you've got to put your hand up.
Yeah.
You've got to stick your hand up and go, Gaffer, I'm taking this penalty. And then the manager will look at you and go, even if you miss it, you go, brave, anything can happen, you can miss. But to sort of wilt away in the background might just tell you a little bit about his character.
Yeah.
As in, like, he's not particularly brave, or if we're trying to give him an out and try to give him an excuse, he might be a little bit shy. But I'm trying to find something for him, because it's not a good look. Penalty number 10 for a number 9 that cost 75 million.
It's not.
It's not a great look, Jules.
It's not at all. It was a crazy penalty shootout.
Yeah.
With a lot of penalties scored. Onana getting his hands on a few that maybe he could have saved, didn't. On the other hand, Pim, the Grimsby goalkeeper, who's a Manchester United fan, pretty much went the wrong way every time, except
he was trying his best for Man United to go through.
Man United on the Cunha penalty, and what a terrible penalty that
was awful.
And again, when you're a new signing, you Cunha, just hit it strong. Don't give me this like I'm waiting to see where you go, and then it's an embarrassing.
It was almost like he tried to overcomplicate the whole situation. It's almost like in his mind he was taking a penalty against a top goalkeeper. So therefore I've got to trick him with the eyes or trick him with the footwork. On that pitch, pouring down the rain, wet, hard and low's your option.
I know.
Whichever way you want to go.
100%.
There's some brilliant penalties. Maguire's penalty was sensational.
Yeah, very good.
Kobe Mainoo, stanchion.
Incredible.
Great penalty. And Buemo's unlucky. He hit the bar.
Yeah, so
that
he
can
scored
happen.
one. But still, that means that your 3 signings that cost you 200.
One didn't want to take it.
One didn't want to take it. Scored it.
2 of them missed.
And 2 missed. You can't make it up. That's why I said that it's the gift that keeps on giving. Well done to Grimsby, we should say.
Fantastic.
Great first half.
And the only reason Man United got back in the game because Maguire scored and Grimsby started to tire.
Yeah.
Because they put so much into it.
And I also think the third goal that Grimsby scored that was disallowed for offside should have stood.
Should have stood, 100%.
But again, no VAR. The second goal, as we said, should have been disallowed.
So where does he go from here? Burnley. It feels like a Ten Hag moment, this, for Amorim. If he loses against Burnley, gone. The chances are, when Ten Hag was in this position, he won the game that mattered.
Yeah.
The next one to keep him alive, they'll probably beat Burnley. But then they've got Chelsea and Man City after that.
Yeah.
So
and then we go back. Hasn't won back-to-back game in the Premier League since he arrived in November, so 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Has won 27 points in 28 games. So that's
I don't know
less
if
than
you've
a point
seen. Have you seen
per
the
game.
kid? Have you seen the kid on Instagram who said, "I'm not cutting my hair till Man United win 5 games in a row," and his hair is hilarious.
And
Up
you see,
there.
he goes like, because they've had wins in a row when you count other competitions than just the league.
It's brilliant.
And then
anyone
he
go and
stops at
check
3
him.
or 4.
Go and
I
check
think there's
him.
one time where he's 4. He's one more. No,
his
still.
hair is literally out
It's
here.
incredible.
It's hilarious. And he ain't getting that cut in a hurry. They ain't winning 5 games in a row.
No. You said earlier, Amorim under massive pressure now, which I think
He is.
you saw him on the bench during that penalty show. He didn't even want to watch. I think he knew if I lose
The
here,
tactics board wasn't a good look.
the tactic balls was a bad look, and also a lot of memes are going to be created from that
100%.
on social media.
But you know when you really simplify the job that he's doing, and you really like sort of dumb it down, and you dumb it down, and you go, right, Grimsby are playing 1 centre forward.
Yeah,
Who picks 3 centre backs?
I know, man.
Because you're wasting a player. You'd rather have a more offensive player. When you really dumb it down, it's scandalous that
you
he'd come up
think
with
that
3 centre backs against one number
when
9.
Heaven was taken out for Mount, then I think everybody thought, okay, this is him going to back 4, and actually Dalot went to the back 3, and Mount played left wing back. And then this was it.
But the knock-on effect with playing 3 centre backs is you are weak in midfield. Man United's problem last year was getting overrun.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't matter if you play Kobe Mainoo and Bruno Fernandes. The 2 of them can't cover the ground.
Absolutely.
If it's Agate and Casemiro, can't cover the ground. So whichever 2 you throw up in the air, whichever names land, apart from Agate who can run, but he can't pass the ball, none of them can get box to box and cover. So if you're a team playing against Man United, you play 3 in midfield.
And that's exactly...
And you outrun them. I remember Newcastle going there and destroying them in the first 20 minutes. Bournemouth done the same. I think Palace done the same. I commentated on so many games last season where Man United were weak through the middle. And nothing's changed.
They haven't
apart from shiny new signings in number 10 positions.
But surely you would think, okay, we mentioned forward you wanted Cunha and Bomo, Sesko, whatever, okay, maybe. But surely the midfielder or the goalkeeper has to be one of your priorities.
100%.
Right? Of getting them. And yes, they went for Baleba. I mean, they went for Baleba. I said
but
they
not
went
really.
for Baleba. Exactly.
Too much money
they
now.
knew from the beginning, as soon as they make contact with Brighton.
He's what they need, by the way.
Yeah. But they knew they could not put 120 million down. Or whether they think it's too much or they don't have the money.
So why wouldn't you sacrifice either Sesko, Cunha or Mbeumo? Don't sign one of them and buy Emi Martinez or Donnarumma.
Yeah. But even like I don't know, Baleba is probably the ideal guy because he's going to be so good and he's just perfect for you.
Well, who plays alongside him?
But there are other defensive midfielders you could have got with great mobility.
But if you drop Baleba into this team, you go, fantastic player. Love him, £100 million. You've still got one more next to him.
Yeah, true.
You need 3.
True.
You know, I talked before about Busquets. He could never play in a 2.
No.
So you put him in a 3. Kobe Mainoo. I think if you put Casemiro or Agate, whichever one you want, and you've got Bruno Fernandes, Kobe Mainoo, there's a good midfield 3.
Probably,
but they don't play that way.
He won't
They're
do
inverted number 10s. Diallo's has to play as a wing back. He's a wide player. Garnacho is a wide player.
You know what bothers me the most about the back 3 and the 3-4-2-1 that he has? It's okay. This could be your template because you feel.
Well, Liverpool didn't fancy it, by the way, when he went for his interview there, and he mentioned 3 at the back, and Liverpool went no,
which you can understand. Yeah. United saw it differently. We say enough that a lot of managers don't have an identity or don't have a way of playing.
I just didn't like it, Jules, when he put his flag in the sand and said, "This is how I'm playing." Look at Thomas Frank. I've championed Thomas Frank for 2 years to be Man United manager because he's adaptable.
Yeah,
he'll play a 3, he'll play a 4.
I give you that. But you could still have your system and keeping it, but with a bit of fluidity inside. You know what Luis Enrique is doing, for example.
Yeah.
So you have that back three yesterday. Okay, you start with the back three. It's not ideal, but clearly you've given one of your centre backs. And okay, yesterday they were none of them were like great. But let's say you said to Delirte, who starts, I need you in midfield.
Correct.
Really, more 80% of the time.
Correct.
So start as a back three, but very quickly I need you to step up.
Correct.
And then you do that. But there's no fluidity. It's so rigid. That three.
It's like we've got three boys there. Don't move. Stay there. It's like when you're in possession, someone go into midfield and make a three.
Completely. And if you don't have a player for that because you don't think the lid can do it, or Euro, or Maguire, or
can
Heaven,
play
whatever.
against Grimsby, any one of them, no disrespect.
We saw Delirte a little bit in the second half. He's got that shot where he takes the weird shot that goes over the bar and he doesn't look comfortable at all hitting the ball and thinking like, well, have you never taken a shot in your life? But usually it's too rigid. And I'm like, why are you doing it?
And as I said, you're giving up a player in midfield. By playing three at the back.
Yeah, completely.
You're giving up a body or you're taking a one-way for a more offensive area. But
you
one of those
think they
three
can sack him, right? You don't think
if they lose against Burnley, 100%.
But it would have been there even a year.
I know, but who would have honestly thought this guy would have a worse record than Eric Ten Hag?
No,
got a worse record.
Then Graham Potter.
He said Man United are the worst team in decades. He said it. He said we're in a relegation battle. He's got 5 wins, I think, in 25 in the Premier League.
You know, I like him a lot. I've always liked him. And last season, I gave him a bit of trying to find excuses. So you remember they played in the Europa League. They had games every 3 days. He arrived his first 10 games
against all the opposition apart from Lyon that they should have won.
No, I know, but he had 10 games in 30 days after he arrived after that international break, which was not easy to train. I get that. So I gave him that. Then I gave him the players that he has don't really fit, but they're not very good and haven't been at the level. So I gave him that.
Yeah.
Nah, man, I'm running out of excuses.
Well, I give him one of the most important things, and it's probably a reason why I went for top 6, is no European football whatsoever. Yeah. Conte won the league last year with Napoli.
True.
Saturday.
Yeah, but then you thought they would be ready now. And then you can even kick on even better when the others start playing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever they are, and you just watching on TV.
Do you think he survives?
Do
you think he survives if they lose against Burnley at home?
I mean, now when you say like this, losing to Burnley at home, Old Trafford.
Off the back of Grimsby?
I don't know.
I can't see it, Jules, honestly.
I know, but then you start
the owners are so invested in him and so invested in what he wants and what he's trying to do and the players that they're signing for him. Oh, come on, man. He's losing games every week.
I know. I mean, it's embarrassing.
What are they going to do against Man City and Chelsea if they lose against Burnley?
Embarrassing. Well,
that kid with a five winning streak, his Barnett's going to be like that.
Yeah, it's going to be bigger than his house. You could say though that they do better against top clubs usually because they raise their level somehow.
And they sit deep a little bit.
Yeah, and we saw against Arsenal, even last season against Liverpool, against City.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know.
He's got work to do, put it this way.
And there's still a lot of issues within that squad. So Sesko we mentioned, Onana. I mean, who do you pick for Burnley? By India?
And the goalkeeper, by the way, that they're going to be buying, Laurens, is meant to be one. Is meant to be one for the future.
Yeah,
this is complete opposite of what they need.
I know.
They need a number 1 now.
I know. Although I would say he had a percentage of save rates. That's what we say, of 90% in the Belgian league last year. So clearly incredible in his saves.
But you put that Man United shirt on.
He's not ready. He would not be ready.
It's good if it's one for the future if you've got a number 1, but they haven't even got a number 1.
We saw Kobe Mainoo playing yesterday, his first game of the season.
Yeah.
Been unused in the 2 league games. What do you do with him? He's clearly not happy with the situation. But you know what?
I know what I'd do with him.
But
put him in a 3.
If you play in that double pivot, it's pointless. Don't play him.
And Amorim said the only player he's in contention with is Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Who's the captain. So he's never going to drop Bruno Fernandes.
He's never going to play. So do you force a move? Do you push to leave?
If you're the player?
Yeah.
I would. I'd want to go and play because he's clearly not playing well. He's clearly not even playing. He's not getting his minutes. He's a super talented player. I'd want to go and play. Go and find the best club that you can play for that's going to give you regular minutes and make you into the top player.
It's a World Cup year as well, man.
And how many Man United players recently have we seen leave? Yeah, and be brilliant. Scott McTominay's the best example. MVP in Italy last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kobe Mainoo's that sort of player.
Yeah.
But he's got to play in the 3. That's where he can showcase his talent. He's not a box-to-box player. Some players just can't do it. Frank Lampard was super fit, but he played in the 3. Busquets, I mentioned, technically very good, but needed 2 players alongside him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kobe Mainoo's that guy.
Garnacho is still there?
Won't be.
But they must be playing. This is a deal.
Sancho's still there.
Sancho is still there.
Did you see his picture yesterday with the bomb squad smiling? I mean, it's a terrible look.
It's It's horrendous if you're Manchester United. Don, this is August, I can't even see, 28th.
Yeah.
August, how is it possible that those players who you've left out
it's because
are still there?
It's because Man United have put these players, not the players, the Man United have put themselves in a terrible position by telling the world, and Amorim's part of this, telling the world these are a bomb squad, they're not good enough, these are the players that want to be sold. If you're a buying player, a buying team, you'd go, I ain't buying them on the 28th.
Chelsea, you're thinking like,
no, I won't buy them today.
Yeah.
I'll buy them on the last day of the winter. Exactly.
You need to.
If you're selling a house, Jules, you don't sell your house to me and go, Don, by the way, the roof's leaking.
Yeah.
Right, plumbing's gone. Right? You tell it's the best house in the world. And you make sure you get top money for your house.
I'd never do that to you. I'd never do that to you.
But now these players are sitting back thinking
mess.
like, Sancho's being linked with Roma, and it's like, he doesn't want to go because his contract's so big. Roma can't afford his wages.
The money's massive.
Right, Leon Bailey signed for them, got injured on the first day. All right,
that's another
from
issue.
Aston. I know, but these players are just sitting back, going like, why should I be in a hurry to go out of Man United? It's their fault by putting me on a big contract, and it's their fault for treating me badly.
Yeah,
and if that club's treating you badly, I know what players are like.
Favors. Yeah,
they ain't going to go. They ain't going to go unless the contract's right.
We said the keeper is going to arrive, whether he's good enough to be number one or not. He's going to arrive. They're going to pay £17 million for him. And then what? Do you expect a midfield? They need a midfield, at least one midfielder that can run, as we mentioned. I can't even see that happening. Would they need?
Oh, they need a lot, but it's how much money they've got.
I don't think they have much left.
So they've got to generate. Worst case scenario, in three days, they've got to generate 25 for Sancho.
Yeah.
25 for Garnacho. This is the lowest price, by the way. Anthony, I don't know, 25.
Yeah.
75 million.
Hoyland. I mean, it would be a loan for Hoyland to Napoli, I think.
With a view to 40.
Yeah.
So over 100. Just chuck it at Brighton and go Belieber. And just get that done and then figure it out from there.
Yeah, maybe.
Or Wharton. Wharton, I think, is going at the very top.
Yeah,
that's your ideal too. Wharton and Belieber.
Oh my God,
it's 200 million quid.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I know. I'm playing fantasy footy.
No,
That's how far Man United are off.
Yeah.
It's
and you know
unbelievable.
what? I could understand your optimism at this time when Rooney mentioned them to finish fifth. I was only
going off the back of the teams that they had to overtake.
No.
Fulham have spent zero.
But I think that's understandable. But now you look at it. Let's say we did all our predictions for ESPN. I think it was a month ago or something, whatever. So it was very early, and they were early predictions. But now with hindsight of what you've seen, where they are in terms of their squad,
10th-ish.
I agree. Again,
how
we're not even sure if
case?
Amorim will still be the manager at the end of the season anyway.
Because say they beat Burnley,
right,
which they should. The chances are they ain't going to beat Chelsea, not going to beat Chelsea or Man City.
Yeah.
So you're going into a season with potentially 4 points on the board. You're in the bottom 4 or 5 inside of 5-6 games. Then the pressure's on.
Yeah, massively.
And then Liverpool come around the month
and then
after.
You play catch up
away from home.
And the pressure is on so much. So much. It's an incredible start of the season for Manchester United, that's for sure. Right, enough Manchester United. What about some quickies, Don?
Let's do it.
It was on Monday night, but let's go back to this very eventful Newcastle-Liverpool, which is a bit of a Hutchison derby, really.
Sort of, yeah. Being a Newcastle fan,
yeah.
Former Liverpool player. I couldn't wait for that game.
Yeah.
The days leading up to the game was the most excited I've been to sit back and not work on a game and just a bucket of popcorn thinking there's going to be 54 red cards in this game. It's going to be, the atmosphere will be off the charts. And it was the most amazing game. It was brilliant.
Was it too much of, did Newcastle make it too much of a kind of a battle more than a football game? A bit like what Slot said after the game?
Sort of, to be honest, I think they had to go that way.
Yeah.
I think they had to go that way. The banners in the stadium was get into them. Now that's always a fine line between Anthony Gordon getting a red card. Another one, by the way, because he got sent off against Brighton in the semi-final last season. And it was a stupid red card because he was never going to get the ball. And when you see it again, he's chased all around the angles.
Players.
Exactly. I think they had to play that way to try and get something out of the game because, you know, at 2-0 down, to still show that same fight and same energy and same atmosphere from the crowd and making it hostile, got Liverpool back in the game. So I thought that was Newcastle's best way of getting something out of it.
I thought they were being naive at 2-2 because I think at 2-2 with 10 men, just take that point.
Oh,
and
no, 100%.
But he felt that the momentum was their way because they just scored back-to-back goals to come back to 2-2 and that they wanted the third goal when I thought, just don't do that. And it's a lovely Liverpool goal.
By the way, when you see the Liverpool goal again, I think everyone had a touch. And it was it was the best move of the night in terms of Liverpool passing. But onto Newcastle, I think they had to go that way to make it hostile, to get into Liverpool, to put them off their stride. And, I think the Newcastle players and the crowd, but more so the players and Eddie Howe deserve so much credit from that game. Loads of Bruno Guimaraes was amazing.
Incredible.
I thought the best 3 players on the pitch, was probably a couple more. I thought Van Dijk was amazing, never lost a header. Szoboszlai, who played right back in the midfield, had a hand in the third goal. Bruno Guimaraes, Tonali and Joe Linton before they went off.
Shoulder for I don't know how long he played with that injury.
I know. And then Joe Linton looked like he ripped his groin.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing game. It didn't let me down. Another classic Newcastle-Liverpool game.
I agree.
We've not mentioned Rio Ingamoa, who's had a brilliant pre-season, by the way. He got the winner, Jules. What a player.
Incredible. I think he's 17 tomorrow. I think he's born August 29th.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, we said the move before is great, and the dummy by Szoboszlai almost makes the goal.
He should get an assist for that.
He should get an assist for that every day. But the finish for a 16, borderline 17, who'd never played in a Premier League before, only like a League Cup game or maybe a few minutes there and there, to finish it like that inside of his foot.
Do you know why? Do you know why it's so good? The technique's obviously really good, but any 16-year-old, 17-year-old in that situation would have been reading the headlines. Young player gets the winner at Newcastle St James's Park. Hero youngster does it again. Brilliant pre-season. It would have been natural for any young player to have that thought and then skied it over the bar or missed it. The fact that he kept his head, it's 16, shows you how sort of mature he is and can be.
Because he can take a touch, right? He's got much time. He could have taken a touch and then even get closer to Pope and then slot it in past him or something. But that confidence, something. And you know when...
And do you know what's going to happen when he gets his birthday present tomorrow?
No.
New contract.
I love
He's
him.
He's only on about 300 quid a week.
I know.
He's good luck to the kid.
Yeah, well done. And
Rio Ferdinand told me about him ages ago.
They signed him. John Terry told me about him because they got him from Chelsea, which is a big move that Chelsea were not happy with at all. But great future ahead for Rio, that's for sure. And the start of the season is going from bad to worse for another of your former club, Donny, West Ham, who this time were beaten in the League Cup against Wolves.
No, this is painful.
This is not good.
No, this is painful. And I was chatting to some West Ham fans last night, older West Ham fans, and they are not renewing season tickets. They've completely given up any hope because the ownership at West Ham have took their home away in Upton Park. They're making them play in an athletic stadium, which the atmosphere is not great.
Yeah,
it's quite toxic there. I don't think it's a Graham Potter thing. If in truth,
I still don't think he's good enough.
Maybe not, but I don't think it's him. I think he needs help. I mean, they've lost so many players. They lost Mohamed Kudus to Spurs, didn't replace him. The signings that they've made, £35 million on Todibo, not good enough, can't last 90 minutes. Guido Rodriguez, Jules, me and you are faster than him now.
I know.
Can't move.
I know.
In the Cup game the other night, Callum Wilson got 4 minutes alongside Fulkrug. That obviously is on the manager.
Yeah.
But it just feels like, from what I'm hearing from the West Ham older fans, is their heart and soul's been ripped out of this football club. And I don't know where they go because they're struggling. And they are definitely in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
It's sad times there.
It is, man. It is.
And another player, talking sad times, is Jared Bowen.
Yeah, because he's obviously the captain, and when they went to clap the away fans, as you should do, even after a defeat like the one on Tuesday night, got into a quite heated exchange, we can put it that way, with some of the West Ham fans, then apologized for it, and rightly so. I think he shows that the frustration, especially for him, because he's too good to...
I don't mind it.
He's too good for him to be in a team that is fighting against relegation, right?
Well, it's getting to the point now where the West Ham fans are actually saying, Jared Bowen, you should move on for your career. That's how sort of sad it is. But I don't mind Jared Bowen standing up.
No, me neither. I don't mind.
I
agree.
Because on the night where the fans are fuming and they have a go at the players and have a go at Jared Bowen being the captain, he goes over there, tries to calm them down. They give him a little bit of verbal back, which is acceptable. As long as it's not going over the line. He gives them a little bit back. In the cold light of day, when West Ham fans wake up the morning after, they'll go, at least he cares.
Yeah, exactly. Because there will be a lot of players in that dressing room who don't care.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Who would have went off the pitch double quick.
Yeah, completely.
He went over there and he tried to smooth it
over. No, I agree. I'm with you on that. Right, let's go for some more quickies.
Let's do it.
Only a few days before the end of the transfer window, where will Alexander Isak be on September 2nd? I have to ask you, as a former Liverpool player, as a Newcastle fan, you're right in there.
I'm
what do you think?
Bored with it. Honestly, just get him gone.
No, fair enough.
Get him gone. Take the money now.
You think for Newcastle, take the money?
I think it's got that far. I think it's toxic. I don't agree that he's went on strike. I still think the club should fine him 2 weeks' wages and give that to a local charity. I've got no idea why they haven't fined him, because he is in breach of contract.
Yeah.
But I think it's getting to the point now where it's hard for Newcastle fans to try and accept him and ask Eddie Howe and the players to try and get him back into the squad. You're getting a good player.
Yeah.
But he's missed the pre-season.
Yeah.
He goes away with Sweden. Wouldn't surprise me if he got injured.
Yeah.
Or wouldn't surprise me if he came back semi-injured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think it's gone that far now. I think just get the 130 million, buy a couple of players, try and strengthen the team, because it's just an ugly look.
You don't think the fans would forgive him?
I'd sack my agent if I was him. No. Truthfully,
I mean,
I would sack my agent on the spot, because the advice he's given Alexander Isak is shocking.
I know.
Your agent should not be telling you to go on strike and not play for your club.
I know.
That's terrible advice.
I know. You don't think the Newcastle fans would forgive him?
In the short term, no, and I think they'll never forget. But we know how football works.
Yeah.
You score the winner against Sunderland.
Yeah.
You know they'll accept it. But the worst thing about what Alexander Isak's done is the Newcastle fans won't forget. And then what happens come December when the January window opens again?
Yeah.
Does he not play again because he wants his move in January?
Yeah.
Or what happens next summer?
Yeah. No.
So I just think it's a very, very ugly look.
Do you think he should have had a new contract already, which was not given to him, with maybe a bit of a pay rise to kind of not keep him sweet? Because this is wrong to say, because he's already on a lot of money and stuff like that. But one of his points is like, the club hasn't really treated me that well.
It's a bit complex, because I think the new contract got offered while the former owner and Amanda Staveley was there. They're no longer at the football club.
Yes.
And I think the current owner, and Jamie Rubin, went to meet Alexander Isak at his house the other day, the day of the game. So we'll never know what was said.
Yeah.
But you would surmise what the owners would have said to Alexander Isak is, stay and we'll give you a new contract.
Yeah.
Now, we've heard nothing from either camp. What was the answer to that?
Yeah.
Did Alexander Isak say, yeah, I'm going to stay, I'll sign my new deal? If he does, then it's about the money.
Yeah.
If he said, which is what we're hearing, no, I still want Liverpool.
Yeah.
Then I think, as the owner, and you look him in the eyes, he says, I want to move. Now, there's two schools of thought. Are you buckling and allowing the player to leave?
Yeah.
Or do you do what's best for Newcastle and get the 130 million and sell him, move on and bring players in?
You know, I've said it before.
I would get rid now.
I think the Saudi owners are thinking like, you don't try to force her to sell him if you're Liverpool.
But then what happens if he goes away with Sweden and gets this injury?
Yeah,
then you're not going to have him
for
2 months.
I know.
Because that's a scenario I can see happening.
Yeah.
I've seen it before. I've seen how this movie.
Yeah.
I've seen how it ends.
Yeah.
You know, and he might get a genuine injury where he's not.
But then they would
fit.
have done it. But then if you let him go 2 weeks ago, and then you've got plenty of time to replace him.
Well,
not
maybe
2 days, 2 weeks.
Well, maybe the 2 weeks was trying to get Alexander Isak to get him a new contract, and it's took this amount of time. And also, Newcastle haven't got number 9s in, and the fact that Anthony Gordon's now got a 3-game ban, it will lead you to think, well, they need Isak even more. But they need 2 strikers even more.
Yeah.
So if you get 130 in now for Isak, who doesn't want to play for Newcastle, he's told the fans, he's told the club, now do what's right for the club, get as much money as you can, go and buy replacements and move on. You're losing a good player, great player. But it's going to take Liverpool a month to get him up to speed.
Yeah,
he hasn't had a pre-season. So that's someone else's problem.
Yeah, I know.
And then talking of problems, Newcastle now, Jules, have got to try and find another number 9. They've struggled all summer.
Yeah, do you remember they struggled with Wissa and the valuation between Brentford and them? And now they had another bid rejected for Jürgen Strand-Larsen at Wolves, £55 million, which is a lot of money, really. But I think he's a very good player and would be very good for Newcastle. They've got a good crosser of the ball.
But the longer it goes on, Wolves will say 60.
Yeah.
65.
And also Wolves in a replacement too.
Yeah.
You know, so at some point, they probably would be happy to sell him for a certain amount, but then they need enough time to be able to buy a backup when he's gone. And if you do that deal on the 31st of September of August or 1st of September, they won't have time. So they will say, no, we need a replacement.
And the funny thing is, if you look at Newcastle's window, and say Isak moves on to Liverpool, and they've signed Jacob Ramsey, they've signed Alanga, signed Ramsdale. If it was Wissa and Strand-Larsen, you go, it's a hell of a window, by the way.
It's good, absolutely.
Losing a good player, don't get me wrong, but still a fantastic window.
No, I agree. Don, I'm sorry to say that as a former Scottish international, but it's been a really bad week for Celtic and probably even more for Rangers.
Rangers was worse.
The St Mirren draw and then this red card after 5 minutes against Club Brugge and the heavy defeat again.
And do you know the fixture this weekend? Rangers, Celtic and Ibrox.
On Sunday,
I can't see Russell Martin staying in a job. I cannot see it. I mean, to lose 9-1 on aggregate is absolutely embarrassing.
It's a disgrace.
Celtic felt bad.
Yeah.
You know, that felt bad, them going out the Champions League and not making the Champions League. They should have done. The chances they had, but still, not to have scored at Celtic Park was a massive worry.
Yeah.
and their fans are singing "sack the board."
Yeah.
And now Rangers lose 9-1 aggregate is horrendous look for the players, the club, but more so on the manager.
Yeah.
So this game could be monumental for, not so much for Brendan Rodgers, I think his stock is quite high because it's not on him, but for Russell Martin, he has to win this game.
Can you imagine if they get battered at Ibrox by
it.
Celtic? You could see it, yeah.
I could see
definitely.
it. He has, I mean, the noise is coming out of what he's been saying and the tactics that he's been putting into games has been shocking.
I mean, he blamed the fans and the club the other day for the first leg defeat.
And he keeps saying we've got to go through the pain.
Yeah, like...
Well, you're the manager that's picking the side. Try not to have any pain.
Well, the pain that you self-inflicted yourself. Like, it's mad. It's mad.
I mean, talk to the Champions League.
Yeah.
Celtic went out. Jules, Donnarumma to Man City. What's happening there?
Well, the clock is ticking. As for Isak, as we said, there's only 3 days left and before the end of the transfer window. PSG and City are still talking, negotiating.
This is a weird one, isn't it?
He's not a right fit, right?
No, but is it Guardiola saying I've got one more year? Someone else's problem.
That's what I think. It's a very short-termist
Definitely.
decision. But PSG ideally wanted 40 million euros. City were just happy to give 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Could they meet in the middle at 30? Probably, but then City can't sign Donnarumma if Ederson is still at the club, and for now Ederson is still at the club. And by the time you listen to this show or watch it, it might not be. Ederson might be at Galatasaray.
And They've bid about 3 million.
Yeah.
City won about 8 or 10.
Yeah, 10. So they're still a long way apart. So I don't know what's going to happen. But the clubs are talking. It will be, I think, bad news for PSG if Donnarumma stayed because he's not going to play. So you're going to pay him for nothing and he's on a lot of money. And for City, I can't tell you if it's a better thing if they sign him or if they don't sign him because I think this is mess up Trafford. And again, I'm not sure Donnarumma is the right fit for the Premier League, considering how bad he is on crosses and set pieces.
Yeah.
And for City, considering how bad he is in his distribution.
It's bonkers, isn't it?
It's weird. It's
really got goalkeeper, absolute no man's land.
And you know what, Don? I think, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's just Pep saying, like, I've got one more year. On his line, he's the best in the world. He's going to win me a game. That's enough. And maybe that's...
it feels that's the way, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
He's not the worst with these feet. Just deal with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't take any chances.
Because
You saw the goal that Trafford give away last weekend by playing it from the back.
Yeah. So let's see. Don, the League Cup is also finished for Bournemouth, who were beaten by Brentford on Tuesday. Is it bad because you could see them going on a cup run?
Yeah, I think if you're a Bournemouth fan, I think like many teams who have gone out this early, it's a disappointment because you want to go on a cup run.
Yeah.
The bigger picture is it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
I get that feeling. As a player, it is because you want to win. As a manager, fans will be distraught on the night. They'll think, another chance going, having a good cup run. But when it settles, when the dust settles, I think the teams that have gone out like Bournemouth, I don't know if you agree. I think sometimes not a blessing because it's never a blessing, but it doesn't feel like the end of the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's embarrassing because against a Premier League side of Brentford,
I agree.
It's not the end of the world.
And there's still the FA Cup where they did well last year, can do well again.
Yeah.
And for the style of football that Iraola has with all that intensity, some newcomers, to get used to it, it's probably not a bad thing that there's one competition out of the way.
Yeah. Let's talk about a man in form, Hugo Ekitike. What a player!
We've always liked him. You and I have always been a big fan.
So he's definitely made the France squad then?
Well, no. I mean...
Has he not made it?
I don't know. Like, on Tuesday, when often the night before, we get a bit of a brief. And on Tuesday night, I was told there's no Ekitike in the list. But by Wednesday lunchtime, when it's announced, on Wednesday morning, there's more meetings, and that might change. I was like, okay, maybe Deschamps for now... In a kind of a first draft, if you want, let's call it that, on Tuesday, he's not in it. But surely, through the night, he's going to think about it and think like, I cannot not call him.
Is it a World Cup qualifier, friendly?
Yeah, it's 2 World Cup qualifiers.
Ukraine, friendly be in, right?
Yeah, maybe, yeah. But even that, you think, okay, Colomwani hasn't made it because my big fear was that Deschamps is so loyal and loves this kind of group unity. Right. If you've been part of the group before, even if you don't play anymore, you're very much part of the group. It's really
Pick your best players.
Really, exactly. So my biggest fear was like Colomwani is going to be in and Ekitike out, and we're going to be the laughing stock of the whole world, right?
Yeah.
At least Colomwani, who hasn't played yet because he's on his way out of PSG, is not in. But neither is Ekitike, and I'm a bit like, really, this was perfect.
So who's nicked his position?
So Marcus Thuram is there, and Marcus is obviously very good. Dembele is there, and Kylian, and I think in Deschamps' mind, you've got Kylian and Marcus Thuram. You play with one up front.
Yeah.
This is it, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's where I disagree, because Thuram can also be seen as a wide player.
And when you look at what Ekitike does, he's like the perfect link for the likes of
he
Thuram
can do
or
everything.
Kylian.
Exactly. You can play him central, play Kylian on the left-hand side where he prefers to start anyway.
Yeah.
Dembele, if you want, even behind as a 10. Olise on the right, and you've got it. This is perfect. I mean, Cherki is in, and I can understand that because Deschamps likes him a lot.
Yeah.
And then the big other news was that Martinez Akliouche from Monaco, with
player,
the
young
big
player,
hair,
good player.
He's for the first time in the squad, which is great, and he deserves it. He's a wonderful player, wonderful talent. It's just, I just feel like Ekitike deserves to be
Especially
there.
the form that he's been in.
Exactly. But let's see. If he keeps that form, I'm sure October it'll be hard for Deschamps to not call him up. And Adrien Rabiot is also in that squad, despite all the argy-bargy.
I love it. You love that, don't you, argy-bargy?
Love argy-bargy. And talking about him, Don, Tottenham are interested, like West Ham.
Yeah.
Not so much about Spurs and West Ham in itself, but do you think Rabiot at 30
Perfect.
would be a good fit for the Premier
Been
League?
linked with Milan as well.
Yeah.
Perfect player. Loads of experience. Physical.
Yeah.
Can handle the ball.
He's strong,
Can fight when he hasn't got the ball. I think there was ever a player, even at 30, to come to the Premier League and just settle in within 5 minutes. It's Rabiot.
I agree.
I think he's a brilliant player. He's very underrated. I think he's the type of player that you'll know better than me, but when he's in a dressing room, he's a leader.
Yeah,
That's probably why the reason that De Zerbi's probably fell out with him.
Yeah,
Off the back of the argy-bargy.
Yeah.
Because he cares so much.
Yeah.
But in terms of the career that he's had and the player that he is and still is, I think he's a brilliant player.
Yeah, I agree. I would love him in the Premier League. Marseille is still maybe trying to keep him.
Yeah.
Realizing what a mistake it would be to let him go now after all of this.
Is it too far gone or is there a way back?
It's just like
the owner likes him, right?
Yeah, everybody likes him. But there was that incident with Jonathan Rowe, but then they almost insulted his mum, which might be a bit of a like...
There's a line.
Yeah, from the family, it's a bit like, we want it up. So let's see.
Yeah. Akliouche you mentioned before, bright young player.
Yeah, so Tottenham and City are keen on him. Maybe not as in enough to sign him just now. But if you think about Tottenham, who tried Morgan Gibbs-White, that didn't happen. Tried Eze, didn't happen. Looking at Paqueta, that might happen from West Ham. But they also have a plan B and a plan C.
West Ham sell Paqueta.
I mean, like this I think they go down.
Yeah.
If they sell Paqueta, they go down.
Yeah, 100%.
And Akliouche is part of that kind of plan B, plan C, if you want. Monaco would like 60 to 70 million euros, so 50 to 60 million pounds. And he's 23 years old. He's got such a strong engine for a young player. He can run and run and run. Great left foot, can play wide, central. Yes, yeah, definitely. Lovely. Paris born and bred, obviously, which makes him even more special, as you know.
50 million on top of the price tag straight away.
Yeah, that's the Paris born and bred tax. Here you go. Thank you very much. I would love to see it happen either to Spurs or City.
Which is the better fit? Spurs?
Yeah, I think so. And also, I think he'll have more game time there. The competition at City.
Yeah.
I'll worry already for Cherki not to play enough.
Yeah.
So for Martinez too. But I love the fact that at least those clubs are aware that he's there. And if it doesn't happen this summer, it might happen in January or next summer for sure.
Yeah.
One more on the League Cup done. Do you think Sunderland and Leeds will care that they were knocked out of this round? But Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday, so it's not a Premier League opposition like we said for Bournemouth. This may be a bit not good enough.
I don't think it's a hard one because Sunderland Leeds, you'd imagine, are going to be fighting for the bottom 5-6 places of the Premier League. So if you offer Sunderland or Leeds the scenario where they go out the cup early but they've got more prep time and they stay in the Premier League or give it a better fight or a better fist of it, you'd go bigger picture. It's not the end of the world. You want to try and have a run, like I said before. But I think the Leeds going out was a bit disappointment. But I don't get the feeling, Jules, they'll be that fussed.
Yeah,
just because of the timing. Just because of the timing.
Do you think the fans care about those cup runs? I mean, I know here we make a lot about the FA Cup.
I think they do in a way, but I think they're intelligent enough to know that if it might help in any sort of way, even if it's 1% of Sunderland staying in the Premier League or Leeds staying in the Premier League, if that helps by 1%, then I think they can sort of forgive it. It's not like an embarrassing one.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
We call Grimsby Man United.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, no,
the
I
fact
agree
that
with
they
you.
lost against two decent sides.
The only thing I would say is those defeats came on back of Premier League defeats that were quite hurtful. So Sunderland losing away at Burnley, Leeds being battered by Arsenal. Now you go into the league this weekend again and you think, okay,
Yeah,
if you lose
but
3 in a row,
it might help them though in
Yeah,
weeks
yeah,
down
the
the
longer
line
term. Yeah,
when you're
yeah,
not
yeah.
in that draw and you can have a little bit more. It might be a bonding session
Yeah,
away
yeah,
from
true,
home, might
true,
be
true.
away, or it might
Yeah,
be
yeah.
a weekend off, or it might just help. I don't think, knowing the Sunderland fans that I know, I don't think they're distraught.
yeah, no,
They
I see
paid
what
them
you mean.
money, they wanted to win.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world. Jeremy Pino is on his way to Palace, Jules. Good signing?
Yes, the replacement, or one of the replacement for Eberechi, is it? Of course. Different profile, more of a winger, pure winger, a bit more like Ismail Assar than an inside 10, if you want, like Eze was.
Yeah.
Was really promising at the beginning, then a really bad injury 2 seasons ago. Last season was much better in terms of assists. I think he hit 9 assists in La Liga and a few goals as well. Great dribbler, a lot of pace, still despite the injury. So I think this could be a good fit for them. Just don't expect him to play like Eze, because if you're a Crystal Palace fan, very different style of player. Christian Pulisic is bad. Christian Pulisic is back in the US squad, Don. But what happened with Balogun?
Don't know. What have I missed?
Well,
have I missed something
Balogun.
there?
Yeah, it's just that Balogun was starting with Monaco at the weekend. Not that he performed well, but was omitted initially from the first squad that was released.
Yeah.
Then was included a little bit later.
Right.
Maybe after they saw the outrage from the US men's national team fans that Balogun, probably their most talented striker, wasn't there. There's a few players who are not there. Yunus Musa is not there. Weston McKennie not there. Johnny Cardoso's not there, Tessman either, which I think shows me that Pochettino still wanted to try other players.
Yeah.
They only have friendlies, obviously, now until the World Cup. But my question to you was, he was under pressure already before because they haven't been that good.
Yeah.
Would you not want to get your best 11 for those 2 games against
100%.
Japan and South Korea to get good wins? Because if they get beaten again, that just increases the pressure, right?
Of course it does.
So it's weird.
Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. If you're Pochettino, you can try and scour the league and look for bright young players that might have the ability to step into the squad for the World Cup. The other way, I would imagine, the best way to go is pick your strongest team, strongest squad, get some wins, go into the World Cup next summer with a bit of confidence and a little bit of momentum. You wouldn't want to be going into the World Cup and saying, oh, well, USA have only won 1 game in the last 15 or something.
Yeah, I agree.
That's demoralising.
Yeah.
So I think for Pochettino, it's trying to do the right thing. There's always a balance.
Yeah.
Pick good young players who you might give a little bit of minutes to, but at the same time, if you put young players and too young with inexperience into a team that's not winning, that can be hurtful for them.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just think you've got to pick your best team.
Yeah, especially when you're already under pressure from the media and the fans.
100%.
Because you have to win people over now and you don't have that much time left.
Yeah. The German Cup is going on at the Jules. What caught your eye?
So Bayern Munich were 2-0 up last night against Wiesbaden, and then somehow got paid back to 2-2 Wiesbaden, and then won. Harry Kane scored a penalty in the 94th, another goal in the 94th minute to win 3-2. But the best game was Braunschweig against Stuttgart, which I think was on Wednesday night, Don.
Yeah.
It finished 4-4 after extra time. Stuttgart were 2-1 up, then went down to 3-2 down. Volta Mario scored in the 89th minute to make it 3-3. Then extra time. Stuttgart scored to make it 4-3. Then 4-4.
Wow.
Then an incredible penalty shot, a bit like the one we saw between Grimsby and United. And in the end, Stuttgart, who obviously are the holders, they won it last year with Sebastian Hoeneß, still in the competition, but just about. And Braunschweig in the 3rd division. So that would have been a huge upset. So that was really, really good to watch. You know, I love a cup competition. I think they're brilliant. I think they're absolutely brilliant. Dortmund have extended Niko Kovac's contract. He finished last season really well done, but started this one poorly. So are you happy? Are you surprised?
I'm not surprised. I like Niko Kovac. I think he's a good manager. I watched him in the Club World Cup. They had
He's just very solid, isn't he?
He's very
You know what you
solid.
get.
Yeah, you sort of know what you're going to get. There's not too much flair about his teams. And I watched them in the Club World Cup. I mean, all right, take the heat into consideration. It was difficult. It didn't really impress me too much. They had a 3-3 draw match day 1 in the Bundesliga, which wouldn't have gone down well because, you know, you're trying to chase down Bayern, Leipzig, etc. You want to get off to a good start. So that'll be a bit deflating, I would imagine, for the Dortmund fans thinking, well, we can't even get a win on match day 1 and draw 3-3.
They were 3-1 up with 5 minutes to go as well. Yeah, crazy.
I mean, it's crazy. So, yeah, I think having watched Dortmund for the last 10 years, they are the best team to let you down. Whenever you think they're going to win a game, just watch Dortmund versus Mainz or St. Pauli or whatever, and they'll lose a game. It's just written in their DNA. There's something about them.
Did you see what happened with the Bellingham family?
Yes.
After that, I wanted your opinion as a former player, as a dad with your kids playing football.
As a son, my parents should be nowhere near the dressing room.
Yeah.
And if I was Job, I'd be fuming at my dad thinking, what are you doing there?
I agree.
What are you doing down here? So they shouldn't allow it.
Yeah.
Why the dad's gone down there to try and confront the manager, I'll never know.
It's mad,
Even
isn't
if
it?
you've got the biggest beef in the world,
Yeah.
there's a line you do not cross as a parent.
Absolutely. First game of the season.
So what power does he think he's got, the dad, in going in
I
to
don't know.
confront Niko Kovac?
I don't
But
know.
I would put it on young Job as well, or
Yeah,
Jude, and say,
yeah,
listen,
absolutely, yeah,
this is not where you go.
I know.
Right, this is me as a player. This is my career.
Yeah.
I understand you've got a massive vested interest in me and you want
Yeah,
to
of
look after
course.
me, but you
Yeah,
never
yeah.
confront the manager because it's
Nah,
tactical.
terrible.
And whatever happens, you never make that move as a dad.
agree.
So
I
I'm a parent with a young kid that's trying to make his way in the game. I'd never confront a manager. I
You
think
know,
it's a
and
terrible look.
And when you think about maybe some of the attitude that Jude and Job could have on the pitch, and we've seen Jude being a bit stroppy, right?
Yeah.
On the pitch, you think this is not the example from the dad or the mum that you want to show the boys, basically.
I can't catch my breath.
I thought it was
I can't
crazy.
catch my breath. Who's at fault? Well, I know who's at fault most, and that's the dad.
Yeah.
But I still think, as a player, the son should say to his dad, "You cannot do this.
I agree.
This has affected my career."
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
not a
I
great
agree.
look. Can you imagine his teammates
I know.
ripping him
I
because your
know.
dad's come in?
I know.
It's like
mad.
being like under 10s, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not playing my
Exactly
son.
that.
Why is he not playing?
Exactly.
It's got to do with you.
Like grassroots football. Come on. I know. It
It's
was
so
incredible.
bad.
Yeah.
Leverkusen have got a new player, Jules.
Yes.
No.
It's very rare. Because
Hey.
as you know, everybody's going.
Yeah.
Radetzky is gone. Ty is gone. Chaka is gone.
Just
Frimpong
signed a
is
youngster
gone.
coming through.
Vets, yes.
Some youngster coming through.
A Lucas Vasquez from Spain. Do you know him?
I've
maybe?
seen him, the
yeah.
teenager.
34 years young, maybe, or old. I don't know. On a free transfer because
Good signing.
he left Real Madrid after 18 years at
Yeah.
the club, winning everything pretty much. 2-year contract. They need the experience because they lost a lot of experience. And Ten Hag starting so badly the season that I think they could do with a bit of leadership. Will play on that right-hand side. You know, that
Versatile.
They can play right back, wing back, right winger, pretty much anywhere. But then, if you're a Bayer Leverkusen fan, just to finish on that, and you've seen all those players leaving, from Wirtz to Chaka, all the names that we mentioned, and now, I know he's got great pedigree because he won, like 5 Champions League or 6
I know
Champions League.
what you mean.
I know, but he's still only Lucas Vasquez, and I would feel a little bit underwhelmed by that kind of stuff.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah. Don, Erling Haaland has decided to change his name on the
What?
back of his Norway shirt. Do you like that? I mean, I said changing. He's adding something there.
I don't know if I like it. Do you?
Really?
I mean, it's going to cost the fans more money to get it printed.
It's B-R-A-U. 5 more letters.
5 more
he's
letters.
adding his mum's maiden name. So,
if it makes him happy.
Bro Haaland. I mean, I don't know what's your mum's maiden
Waters.
name.
So Waters Hutchison.
Oh, that would have been long on the
exactly.
shirt.
Fans would have sacked it off. They wouldn't have bought it. If it makes him happy, mate, fair.
Exactly.
Fair.
And his mum. I guess it's a tribute to his mum.
It's a nice little
nice.
touch for his mum.
Yeah.
Hey, Jules, Champions League draw today.
Oh, yes.
Can't wait. Here we go.
Do you remember who won the Champions League last year? I can't remember who won the Champions League last year.
Come
on. I'm so excited. Together we'll be on YouTube, by the
will.
way, on the
Can't
ESPN
wait.
FC YouTube channel from around 5 o'clock, something like that, with Mark Ogden as well, to do like a watch along on the draw as it happens, which is great. As you know, it's the league phase, second season of the league phase.
I enjoyed the format last year.
Yeah, it worked well, I thought.
The only bit I didn't like, I don't know about you, was knowing who you're going to play quarter, semis and final.
Yeah, so it's a full draw. And
Didn't
also,
like that.
I would say Liverpool topping the league.
Yeah.
And then facing PSG in the last 16 felt a little bit.
Yeah.
You should not get such a strong draw maybe when you've won that league.
Unless that might be the future.
Unless you
start really badly if you're PSG and try and go that way.
Yes, and my boys obviously going to try to retain
Who's
the,
your favourite?
the title.
PSG?
I think they have to be. Although it's 8 years since a team has retained Real Madrid under Zidane.
Yeah.
So it's clearly very, very difficult. I think Liverpool will be better than they were last season against PSG. Barcelona,
That's my
of course.
top 3.
Bayern, I think. I really like what Bayern and company are doing.
Yeah.
Especially that there's probably another couple of players that might come before the end of the transfer window.
Never convinced on Bayern though.
No, I know you said defensively the balance might be wrong. The great thing as well, Don, is that we've got a lot of newcomers. So Union Saint-Gilloise are in the Champions League for the first time. So as Paphos, so Union Saint-Gilloise from Belgium.
Yeah.
Paphos from Cyprus. Well done to them. And David Luiz, who plays for them now. Kara Almaty. From
beat
Kazakhstan.
Celtic.
Are there, yes, a bit Celtic, we mentioned that. Karabakh from Azerbaijan are there. Bodo Glimt from Norway, first time as well. So there's also a bit of that kind of exotic side of new teams.
And it gives
being in
them...
there.
take this the right way. It gives them a little bit of a chance.
Absolutely.
In the normal draw years ago, you go, these teams got no chance.
Yeah, bottom of the group of 4.
With the
100%.
right draw, gives them a little sniff of trying something.
Exactly.
I can't wait. I've got my top 3. I've got PSG, Barca, Liverpool in that order.
Yeah, sounds good, man. That sounds good. Let's see the draw tonight. And this is all we have time for today, man. Thank you so much, Don, for coming down. It was such a great show. We'll be back with Gab on Monday to talk about everything that happens at the weekend, especially the Liverpool-Arsenal game, of course, on Sunday, which is massive. And as Gab always said, until then, love yourself, love your game, love your neighbor, something like that.